Well, we can cross to Rob Parsons live in Jerusalem. Rob, what's been Israel's response to this incident? I mean, the IDF has called for a review of the strike, but it's pressing on with its ground offensive. And we're hearing now that tanks have reached the city center in Rafah.
Yeah, that's right. Well, look, Israel's response has been that this is a tragic mistake, that Israel always takes precautions, that in this case, two precautions were taken, but something went tragically wrong, that an investigation is being set up into the incident. The senior prosecutor of the IDF has described what happened as being very grave. The feeling, or the argument that the version rather, that the Israeli authorities are putting out is that a fragment of shrapnel seems to have struck an oil depot near to where the tents were situated, about 100 meters away. A firestorm resulted, and that's what caused the greatest part of the tragic loss of life. Although many, according to doctors working for Médecins Sans Frontières and others, many were killed by flying bits of shrapnel as well. But, you know, as to whether the Israeli armed forces should continue their operation, there seems no doubt in the minds of Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister at least. He spoke to the Knesset yesterday and made it clear that Israel will go on until it has achieved its central aim, which is the defeat of Hamas. Now, there are others within the Israeli war cabinet of 4 people who take a slightly different point of view. Gadi and then we have to concentrate on getting the release of the hostages. Well, they're getting very close to the finishing line in Gaza, in Rafah, according to that report that you just mentioned of Israeli tanks being now in the center of Rafah. That means there's not very much further for them to go. They still have to go into western Rafah, where there are thousands and thousands of refugees who have moved there on the orders of the Israelis themselves, including those who were in that encampment in the northwest of Rafah that got struck yesterday. They, I presume, will now be told to move further towards alleged safe zones in the Al-Mawasi camp further up from Rafah. But nowhere feels safe anymore. You know, this feels like there was an accident waiting to happen. When you have 1 million people concentrated in such a small area without any security, living in tents, with explosions going on all around them, the feeling really is that it's bound to happen at some time. And that, I think, that sort of hones in on the central criticism being made against Israel here.
All right, Rob, and all this criticism, is it equating to deepening isolation for Israel on the global stage?
Well, absolutely no doubt about it. First of all, we had the International Criminal Court with its chief prosecutor calling for arrest warrants against Benjamin Netanyahu and against the Defense Minister, Yoav Gallant. And then we had the International Court of Justice ordering the Israelis to stop their Rafah offensive. And now this happens. You know, the Israelis before had claimed that there was sufficient leeway in the ruling of the ICJ, that as long as they did not destroy the Palestinian population of Rafah or threaten its destruction, they could carry on. But, you know, now that this has happened, there will be no doubt whatsoever in the minds of the international community, whether we're talking about the ICC, the ICJ, or the United Nations, that Israel has crossed the red line. So, you know, the momentum is growing constantly, you know, to push Israel into declaring a ceasefire. You know, at this stage, whether or not the hostages are released. And that's a position Israel clearly does not want to be put in. Today, the Security Council of the United Nations is meeting again. Whether that will lead for a push for another resolution calling for a ceasefire, who knows at this stage? One imagines that it probably will. You know, if that happens, will the United States abstain again? The US will be under immense pressure to support a resolution.
All right, Rob Parsons reporting live from Jerusalem there for us. Thank you.